In what way did you lose the genetic lottery? My DNA is broken at the nibrin protein, essentially where your DNA tells broken DNA repair itself. So I have no good DNA. I am high risk for breast cancer and found out that because of my mutation I cannot have radiation or chemo, it will make any cancer spread. So if I get cancer in an organ that can't be removed, I'm fucked. Chinless. Thanks, Dad. Super susceptible to migraines, passed on from my mom. That shit hurts. Getting white hair at the age at 9. The white hair did spread, but thankfully most of my hair is still black in the majority. Everyone in my family has baggy dark circles under their eyes, naturally. I inherited it too. Made worse by the fact that I have a habit of staying up late. IBS gang, where? My fucking small ass hands. I'm a 6 foot, 190 pounds dude but have the hands of a 15-year-old girl. My erection curved 90 degrees down from about 2/3 out. I'm still curious how it would have worked. I got surgery where they straightened it out by removing a small wedge and stitching it back together. It has served me well for 15 years since. Schizophrenia. There was a 1% chance of it happening, and it fucking happened. I am a lady who is built like a gorilla, long arms and short stocky legs. The upside is that I can win a slap flight from a good distance and have excellent balance on boats. When I realized that my nose was growing faster than any other part of my body. Fucking asthma. That shit sucks. I have constant digestive problems and stomach pains that get worse when I'm stressed. My sight is so bad that without glasses I can't even recognize someone's face 6 feet in front of me. I say ingrown nails all the fucking time. I have a history of depressive and anxious disorders in my family, and it tends to show on me, lately. I'm pretty close to legally blind. But just in one eye. Because of this it turns out I don't have depth perception. So yeah, I can see fine cause the good eye is perfect vision. But I suck at knowing how far away things are. I have been hit in the face by balls many times. Walked into walls, fell up and down stairs. All sorts of BS. Asterisk, oh yeah, I was born that way, hence why it's a genetic lottery thing. LOL. Curious incident is very upset about the phrasing. To appease them, I'm sorry I phrased things in a casual way. Autism severe enough to require special consideration, and mild enough that people conclude I don't actually need it. I'm ugly. Mental illness. There's a lot of it in my family and unfortunately it didn't skip me. However, I have been actively working on my mental health for over a decade, and that's helped break the cycle of intergenerational trauma and abuse. Starting to get a receding hairline at 23. My parents may as well be related with all of the issues I have. Crohn's disease. Common variable immunodeficiency. Asperger's. Depression and anxiety. And I was born with my urethral tubes too low, resulting in chronic kidney and bladder issues. The surgery to correct it has made me infertile. I still have a pretty kick-ass life, but goddamn I wish the diagnoses and problems would stop piling up. Looking like a troll with an oversized tongue and the family's fucked teeth. In this era of beards, I cannot grow one for the life of me. Instead it is all patchy and thin. IBS, asthma, ADHD, and a genetic disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It messes with collagen production, so I am prone to dislocate most joints and sprain most tendons/muscles. It also affects skin, so I get lots of bruising and little cuts on my skin. I'm so tired of being in pain every day. When the doctor or nurse begins to ask you about family history I tell them yes, check all the boxes. If there is a disease or disorder, it runs in my family and I have a predisposition for it. Addiction. My dad and I get addicted to things so intensely it sucks. Both of us are cross-addicted to drugs and alcohol, but sober now, both smokers, but now we have tried to trade out for harmless addictions which have still caused social isolation and harmed relationships in our familial and occupational lives. Yeah. Take your pick: psoriasis, autism, or color blindness. ADHD, it's killing my mental well-being. I have a big head. I didn't pick up genes from either of my parents. But at least I am a male man. Acne, I'm an otherwise attractive person. But acne just sucks. I was born balding by 24, but has back hair instead. Super coarse hair. Haircut is terrible. It's like little cactus needles around my neck and they get stuck in my clothes, so it's even worse. Gallstones at age 20, Hashimoto and vitiligo starting at age 13, bad eyesight. Chronic migraine. Without modern medicine and the ability to do an emergency C-section, I would have died in childbirth. I'm very short, 5'2", and my baby was huge, 9 pounds 13 ounces, 22.5 long, and couldn't fit down into my pelvis. He was so big and my uterus so small that he was also breech, feet first in position because there wasn't enough space for him to turn. I'm short. Always have been. Long labia LMAO. I regrow my hair in like 3 days after I cut it and it sucks. Women in my family are short and cute, but I'm tall and awkward. Developed celiac disease. And breast cancer runs in the family on both sides, so I have that to look out for. Well, I have John Lennon's nose. I definitely have all the worst physical features of both my parents and none of the good. Mom's bad skin, thin lips, dad's big eyelids, big nose, sad face. My left knee went out in the 8th grade. Today both knees are bad, and I have ongoing issues with my wrists, ankles, toes, and hips. I'm 27. My dad is the same way. In retrospect, being double-jointed as a kid was more of a warning sign than a cool party trick. Picking up every disease gene on both sides of my family. Migraines like my maternal grandma. Mood disorders like my paternal cousin. It seems to have skipped a generation. A fake. My grandpa was very moody and nobody in my dad's generation was like that. Then me and my cousin are. Low blood pressure like my maternal grandpa. Stomach acid gets easily imbalanced like my dad. Edit. Oh, and skin allergies. Sun, dust, rainwater, sweat, everything. And a few breathing allergies. My mom has asthma as well as certain respiratory allergies, of which I have received only a tiny portion, but it exists. Can't smell. My family is a mix of Italian, Irish, and English ancestry. I've got pasty white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, black facial hair that never grows beyond the length of that first pube you notice when you're going through puberty, an uncontrollable overgrowth of actual pubes. I sweat a fuck ton. and if you put me into a hydraulic press you could probably just squeeze me into olive oil. I'm such a greasy fucking guinea. I got the body of my dad 6'1", but I am shy like my mom and avoid people, so I'm a target for little cunts in high school who feel like they need to prove themselves. Think of it like I'm the guy from the Green Mile, but my peers don't know I a nice guy because I don't talk very often. My father is a very handsome man, classical rugged features. My mother has this exotic vaguely androgynous face, but paired with a very feminine petite body. My sister and I, both girls, look like a blend of both of our parents, but with my broad shoulders and her 6'2" height, we are both often mistaken for MTF. I try to overcompensate with excessively girly clothes, but I have to be very careful with makeup because if anything it makes me look more masculine. I also kind of hate that through the years another way I was trying to compensate for my masculine features was by speaking in a very high-pitched voice, which I think now sounds more and more ridiculous as I age. You know the gender swap Snapchat filter? When I put myself through the male filter, it changed how my eyes were set and gave me a stubble, and obviously gave me short hair. When I used the female filter, it changed pretty much all of my features: jawline, chin, nose, lips, eyebrows, the texture of my already long hair. It bummed me out, man. I look literally exactly like my dad, except for my height. He is 1.90 m and I'm just sitting here at a lowly 1.71 m. Pale skin and red hair. The sun is not my friend. My thyroid doesn't work. If I was born 50 or even 30 years ago I would be sentenced to a life of not really being able to do anything really productive. I'm allergic to dogs, cats, and pretty much any of the lovable fluffy pets. I am also very lonely. My penis is uselessly small. Length and girth. Duane syndrome. Can't look to the right. A 1-2 punch of depression and ADHD. I don't metabolize alcohol well, at all. My stomach just can't handle it. I can have a couple, barely get tipsy, and be completely fine. However, recent example, had 7 beers over the course of 6-ish hours with friends. Chill night playing board games in a kitchen. Got a buzz, but nothing crazy. Drank some water throughout. Ate some food before drinking and while I was being driven home. Felt somewhere between tipsy and lightly drunk and felt really good. I had paced and managed myself pretty well. I got to my buzz level and maintained it throughout the night. Threw up 3 hours after I stopped drinking after I had already fallen asleep. From what I would consider to be a moderate and not excessive amount of beer for a 200 pounds man. Could be worse, but it's just weird. I pretty much limit myself to not getting drunk at all these days because of this. Edit. I believe they were 6 or 6.5% strength, not crazy but not Miller Lite piss either. My point isn't about bragging how much I can or can't drink. If I had shotgunned those over the course of an hour, this would be a different conversation. But this was over the course of an entire night. And to be clear, I was not drunk. Not to the point where you'd expect to be sick at any rate. I didn't even have a hangover because of all the prep work I had done, hydration, salts, food. But yet I still found myself on the toilet because my stomach wasn't happy. I felt pretty sober when I was on the toilet. My eyes are pure shit. My physical health is great, rarely sick, build muscles and stamina fast, body can handle a lot of poison without dying. Mental health not so much. My sister is petite, blonde, beautiful, has never broken a bone, never been truly sick, is smart, and has had 3 gorgeous children. I'm the opposite of all of that. Late, so will probably be buried. I'm 21 and have had old lady titties since puberty. They've been my biggest source of shame, lol. Everything I have is too big. My hands, my head, my lips, my feet, my did. I have ridiculously soft nails. People always ask me if I don't have nails when I'm struggling to open something, but even if I would let my nails grow out, they would just literally bend when I would try to actually use them. Shitty brain. Too many hairs on the body and they grow so fast. Sad face. I have not seen anybody who has more pimples in their face than me. I was born with severe hemophilia B. Despite needing weekly injections, I bruise like a banana and bleed internally from minor repetitive tasks. I'll bleed in my legs and ankles if I walk too much. I'll bleed in my elbows and wrists whilst scanning items as a cashier. I can't do any sort of physical contact sports, because you guessed it, internal bleeding. The ability to gain weight fast. This thread is depressing, sad face. 4 feet tall. My dad gets horribly seasick. My mom doesn't at all. I'm a professional mariner, yet guess which one I took after? Me. Doyne honeycomb retinal dystrophy runs in a maternal inheritance line. I have already started with symptoms. I'm 33. I will eventually go blind. Female pattern baldness, but hey, if I can't see it I won't notice so much. A tendency towards obesity, but jury is still out on whether genetics contribute to that. Terrible teeth. Mostly overcrowding. At least mine didn't start to rot when I was in my teens like the rest of my family. The older generations all had dentures by the age of 50. I have 1 pinhead size filling done as a preventative measure. However, I did require 3 surgeries and braces for 8 years to get the stupid things to fit in my mouth correctly, and they had to pull 9 permanent teeth to do it. Husband, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. First identified as just juvenile hypermobility back in the 80s, family was told he'd grow out of it. Then his health began to deteriorate. 4 years ago we pushed until we got a referral to a geneticist and a rheumatologist who confirmed Ehlers-Danlos, hypermobility type. Worst part, none of his family suffer. His was a random fluke genetic mutation. As for ways we won the genetic lottery. Me, I am terrifyingly healthy for my size, super morbidly obese. I'm trying to work on it but progresses glacially slow. The ADHD isn't helping there. No joint issues, all blood tests, heart traces, spirometry, liver enzymes, the lot are perfect. I walk miles every week pushing my husband's wheelchair and we do not live in a flat area. My family just seemed to be built for being huge. We would have been wonderful back in the hunter-gatherer days. Husband, men in his family do not lose their hair or go gray, and their hair is thick, shiny and gorgeous. Bastard, LOL. He also looks about 15 years younger than he is. Both together, somehow, our genes combine to make absolutely gorgeous children. We got lucky and our kid did not inherit the Doynes or the EDS, neither one was diagnosed until after I fell pregnant. otherwise we might not have chosen to have kids. Cleft lip and crooked nose. Made for all sorts of challenges growing up, in particular being made fun of and looked like an outcast. People thought I was mentally challenged before speaking with me, they would give me horrible stares, or they would just plain insult me. School was of course fun, as was finding romantic relationships. You learn that how you look plays a much larger role in your happiness and a much more important role in how you are perceived by others than you would expect. I never felt confident until my 20s, but even now in my 30s I have moments of weakness. I am blessed with a great life, though, and I found a woman who loves me for who I am. I sweat. Like a lot. For no reason at all. The amount of activity it takes me to start excessive sweating is usually in the region of 3 pool billiard strokes. Yay. I am a balding 5 feet 2 inches adult male, with ADHD and pulmonary valve stenosis which has been repaired. Oh, and I have a big gap between my front teeth too. All in all, I can't complain though. I live a pretty good life and married an amazing woman that is way out of my league. I'm ginger, so eternal mockery basically. Gender machine broke. Either I'll die of brain cancer by my 40s or become blind. I, a female, look almost exactly like my dad. This makes me look like a badly done drag queen in family pictures. 2 bones in each of my feet are connected in ways that they shouldn't be, and they rub against each other and cause me lots of pain. I have surgery in January. Like my father and his father, my hearing abilities are starting to deteriorate quickly after 40. Small penis with big balls, I wish it was the other way around. Unamused face. Let me tell you. My intestines can't push shit around on their own, they rely on gas pressure produced by bacteria. I am genetically predisposed to have depression. Every single person on my mom's side of the family is too. Autism and ADHD. Yes, they are caused by genetic factors, not vaccines, Karen. I'm very short, only 5 feet 4 inches, and I'm a male, and my PP is below average size. I have bad acid reflux that irritates my larynx to the point where I nearly died from my throat fully closing. I've got freckles in inconvenient places. Mother, narcissistic personality disorder, inherited from her mother and her mother's mother. Father, legendary junkie/alcoholic. Once had a katana fight with a hobo in a drug squabble gone awry. Died from a heart attack at 52 while carrying groceries into his apartment. Uncle, equally legendary junkie/alcoholic. Killed himself when he was in his mid-30s. Sisters, both full-fledged junkies, pretty sure one is a prostitute. Me, no NPD, not a junkie, not an alcoholic, but will suck your dick for Sour Patch Kids. Almost every mental disease under the sun, along with being a 5.4 guy. Cyclical vomiting syndrome. Get nauseous and start throwing up, but my body can't stop it on its own. Yeah, imagine throwing up for 18 hours in 15 minutes increments. I got a rare cancer at 30. I'm celiac. And Italian. Small. Penis. A fast metabolism may sound fun at first, but when you can't gain weight for the life of you it becomes an issue. Diabetes. I got this. PCOS, post-infectious IBS, depression, and anxiety, recurrent UTIs, and newly diagnosed interstitial cystitis. I also just have a shitty immune system in general. Super prone to infections. I got shingles when I was 20 and already taking antivirals, that sort of thing. On the positive side, I am slim and attractive, intelligent, and came from an upper class, loving and supportive family. So I'm fairly certain it was the universe's attempt to nerf me, because that's just too many good things combined. I have far too many arms. I hit every tree branch on the way down and the ground face first. I also found out you don't need to be physically fit and attractive to get beautiful women to be with you and want to have your baby, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Height, way too fast metabolism, so I am constantly underweight, nose too big, teeth need to get fixed, Leiden 5 mutated red blood cells causing high risk of diabetes type 2, high risk for liver, testicular and prostate cancer. 2 of those CAB make me sterile. At least I got intelligence, personality, autism, yes, it's a massive positive in my case, a somewhat nice voice and a rather average penis size, for my country, Denmark. I would say the life-threatening cons outweigh my positives, but the ones for my looks I honestly don't care about in the slightest. I have complete incontinence at 25. I am otherwise fine, but that's a pretty big otherwise. It is also definitely a case of the genetic lottery, because no one on my father's side of the family has any continence problems whatsoever, nor have they had, at any age. I wasn't in touch with my mother's side of the family, so can't check with them. Me and my family are literal vampires, sharp teeth, pale skin, and loves black clothes, and then we have an overreaction over sunlight. Anxiety. Asthma, and the little fact that I can't fucking see 2 feet in front of me without my glasses or contacts.